Michele Bachmann believes that Arab Spring is not a good thing. Now, it is largely peaceful revolutions throughout the Arab world that is bringing democracy, but apparently that's a bad thing and that Barack Obama is at fault. Let her explain.
I am probably even more concerned about the foreign policy implications because of what Barack Obama has done to the nation. Just like Jimmy Carter in the late 1970s didn't have the back of the Shah of Iran, we saw the Shah fall and the rise of the Ayatollah, and we saw the rise and the beginnings of radical jihad, which have changed this world and changed this nation. So too under Barack Obama, we saw him put a lot of daylight between our relationship with our ally Israel. And when he called upon Israel to retreat to its indefensible 1967 borders, don't think that message wasn't lost on Israel's 26 hostile neighbors. You want to know why we have an Arab Spring? Barack Obama has laid the table for an Arab Spring by demonstrating weakness from the United States of America. The number one duty of the president is to be the commander-in-chief.
All right, let's try to figure out what this moron's talking about. So in Tunisia, they started a revolution against their dictator because they heard that Obama was putting distance between the U.S. policies and Israel's policies on the 1967 border. Who would be profoundly stupid enough to believe that? Maybe her audience? Maybe just her. Maybe they're confused by her as well. What the hell does that have anything to do with Tunisia? And why is democracy in Tunisia a bad thing? And wait a minute, I thought the whole Republican ideology during the Bush years was, we're going to bring democracy to the Middle East. That was supposed to be the Bush policy. Now you're against democracy in the Middle East because you think it might affect the 1967 borders of Israel. And that you thought that Bush bringing so-called democracy through invasion to the Middle East was an awesome thing. But when Obama, because you're saying it's all his fault or his responsibility, because Obama actually brings democracy to the Middle East, is a terrible thing. Of course, that makes no sense. That's why it came out of Michele Bachmann's mouth. Furthermore, on the Iran issue, oh yeah, Jimmy Carter didn't support the Shah enough, and that's why we got the Ayatollahs. What she leaves out of that equation is that we overthrew a democratically elected government in Iran in 1953 and hence began the hostility towards the United States in the first place. And by the way, our government has now admitted that. If we did not orchestrate a coup against their democracy and impose a king upon them, perhaps they wouldn't have hated us so much. But of course, that's again far too complicated a thought to fit into the tiny, tiny mind of Michele Bachmann. Hey, Republicans, just make up your mind. Are you in favor of democracy or are you against it? Which one is it?